evening, afternoon, or morning. This is the Don Rose Roast, featuring Don Blue, Bob McKenzie, Bill Mann, David Solon, Don St. John, Bill Ocean, Harry Jupiter, Rick Shaw and the Chips, Mitch Millenny, and your host, Bob Quinn. This is Professor Erwin Corey, the world's foremost authority. Thank you, and hello.
Here we are, the start of Dr. Don's evening. It's a great night, and the first one to arrive is Mr. Gong Show himself, Doctor. He came here, he's over kissing. He's kissing everybody. Now he's finally kissed a woman. Here he is, the Dr. Don Blue. Now, how long have you known Dr. Don Rose Blue?
Who?
Look into the camera.
I can read this out the teleprompter.
Okay, we're making this for you.
I am glad to be here. I'm very proud to be, is that a part?
You're talking to Dr. Don.
A part of this.
Yes.
And I'm very happy because I'm very proud of Dr. Don Rose, who's a person that I've always, what does that say? Looked up?
Left out.
I've looked up
left
to.
out all of the better part.
I've looked up to. We live in the same home now. He lives in our guest house.
That's it. Now listen, Doctor, we're making the tape for you, and he's nice enough to come. And the Gong Show will continue in his living room.
Yes, the Gong Show is on. What time is it now? Turn this tape off. Turn this tape off. Turn the Gong Show on because it's going to be your last.
Potatoes just went down to 39 cents a pound.
Okay, I got to get over here right now. This is a deal.
Okay, we'll see you inside, Doctor. Thank you.
Stay tuned for Rick Shaw, Harry Jupiter, Don St. John, Dave Sholin, and Billy Ocean.
Wait a minute now. Here comes Rick Shaw, K101's Big Rick Shaw. Now, how long have you known the doctor, and why are you here?
I heard it was a freebie.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's Doctor. That's sure. Now, seriously, how long have you known the doctor?
I've been honored to know Dr. Don for, I guess, a good 15 years.
15 years. That's unbelievable. 15 years, and he's heard so much corn that his ears are getting cauliflower. No, Doctor, we love you. And Rick's working on a bit that's going to be great. So we'll cut now, and we'll see you inside. Good. There's a gentleman here that I would consider probably the nicest guy in the Bay Area. No kidding. This guy's got heart, he's got soul, and he's really a friend of the working man. He couldn't make it tonight, so he sent Harry Jupiter from the Examiner. Harry the Hat.
Hi.
Okay, that's the first line. Now, how long have you known Dr. Don?
Well, I remember I used to be late to school because I was listening to Dr. Don in the morning.
You've known Dr. for about 74 years.
Well, I've never met him, but I've been listening to him, and I'm here tonight because I want to see what he looks like. I've never... Radio guys amaze me. You know, you wonder what they look like, and I want to see what this man looks like.
Well, the doctor is working the camera, and Doctor, come over here and show. No, seriously, I think it's really nice. The sports coming out, disc jockeys, the guy from Safeway will be here later. Potatoes is 27 cents a pound. So, Doctor, everybody loves you, and Harry Jupiter jumps right. Harry the Hat Jupiter, man, it's great. First time I met him, I've been writing stuff for him, and he's nice enough to use. Don St. John from Magic 61. How long have you known Doctor? You've known Doctor a long time, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess it's been about 13, 14 years.
13, 14 years. Yeah. So this man has suffered. He really has. No.
Here's a guy that has a great degree of honesty hanging all over. No, Dr. Don, we're here because we love you, of course, and we're sure you're going to enjoy this, and hopefully we will turn up the heat and roast you as strongly as we can.
You be ready, Doctor, because we're going for the jugular. Okay, Doctor, you know this name and face right away, and I just met for the first time Mr. Dave Sholin, who owns the Gavin Report. And how long have you known the doctor?
The doctor and I go back to his actually very beginning at KFRC. He got there. He beat me there by a few months. But a few months later,
15 years.
He ran into me.
15 years?
Yeah, I would say 73. That's right.
You started there when you were 12.
Yeah, you got it.
12. That's
boy, what a man.
What a man like this. Doctor, and he's come to your roast after 15 years. That's saying something. He's either deaf or he has no taste. No, seriously, Doctor.
And it's not. I'd probably tell you, I probably got the first dollar I made at KFRC, but it's not true.
Billy Queso Olshan. And how long have you known Dr. Don?
Well, I feel like I've known him for like 10, 15 years because he's been such a...
About 13 years, I think.
Something like that. Almost kind of grew up with him. Never mind the gray hair. It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean nothing. And but you actually, you've met him before.
Well, a minute. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you actually were hitchhiking, the car broke down, and that's why you're here tonight.
And he picked me up in his limo.
That's it, that's his limo. Well, I figure the big news so far is potatoes are 27 cents a pound. That's the biggest news so far over at Centerfoot. But this is a tape we're making for you, Doctor, and this is your life. Art Linkletter, Ralph Edwards, he can't be here, right?
Yeah, good old Ralph.
Good old Ralph. Well,
Rest his soul.
we'll cut away now, and Billy will be on the show, and this is...
Dr. Don, I want your contract. I want your contract. I want the money. I want the white limo picking me up and taking me. You know.
Doctor, you're beautiful. Okay.
I want your sound effects, Doctor.
And next, a quick chat with the doctor himself.
Doctor, good to see you, pal. We've already did the interviews. Look over here like this. Now the question is, how long have you known Dr. Don Rose? Well, you are Dr. Don Rose. That's it. Well,
actually, we met on a summer day in 1956.
56. You know
I was Donald D. Rosenberg before then.
And before that, you were just
I don't know what I was before that.
Your father's
I suppose so.
Well, there's some people inside. You got a nice little crowd, and they're all waiting.
And now your host for tonight, Bob Quinn.
Thank you very much. Hey, thanks a million for coming tonight. This is great. Okay, let's start the evening off. We got these people here, and Bill has come all the way from Santa Rosa. And I had a line, I've been in Herb Cain's column, I don't know, 30 times, Rob Morris 50 times, but getting the Bill Mann column was a little tough. I said that I think if I died in his arms, I still couldn't get in his column. But anyway, I think he's a friend, and I know he's a friend. He came all the way from Santa Rosa. He writes for the Oakland Tribune, and this man is a very funny man. And Bill, you only got 1 hour to do. Let's hear it for Mr. Bill Mann from the Oakland Tribune.
Thank you, Bob Quinn, the human intermission. You guys see this handbill here? Dr. Don Rose roast. Don Blue, Bill Moen, Bill Mann, Jim Gabbert, Rick Shaw, and Bob Quinn. You guys see that? Hosted by Bob Quinn.
This is his idea.
Yeah, Bob Quinn's the kind of guy who walks in a room and it's like someone has just left. Now we're here to honor Dr. Don Rose and a man who never met a joke service he doesn't like. He comes from a small town in Nebraska, North Platte, is it? Your zip code was EIEIO. For those of you with dyslexia, that's EIEI7. Don didn't have much of a family life. I guess he and his brothers and sisters always referred to their father as the defendant. But he ended up in radio, and you know, the rest is history. He worked for a long time, as you may remember, at the Iranian station, KFARSI. You guys remember that? And Don really didn't work there for the music. I mean, he was there to tell the jokes. And I remember one morning I was listening to a show in KFRC. Dave Sholin was getting ready to come in. I thought Dave was going to die. And Don puts on the record and he back announces it. He says, that was Chicago with his latest hit. But I asked Don, you know, where he got the name Dr. Don Rose, and he said he used to introduce himself to women as having a certain amount of limited medical training. Now, I play a lot of golf with Don, and absolutely true story. This happened out at his golf club once. This woman golfer comes in from the course with this really bad rash all over her body, right? And of course she thinks Don is a doctor. So she goes into the clubhouse. She says to Don, I've got this rash all over my body. What happened? And Don says, well, what happened to you? I mean, how did this come on? And she says, well, this big bug bit me out on the golf course. And Don says, well, where did it bite you? And she said, between the first and second hole. And Don said, better check your stance. So much for the limited amount of medical training. Don's always had a way with women. He once told me that the only thing women ever told him in bed is, are you sure you're not a cop? Don taught me to play military golf, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Motorboat golf, too.
Motorboat golf, what's that?
Putt, 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 putt.
And I really do miss, I think we all miss you on the radio. I think you're one of the nicest people in this or any other business. And if I keep saying this, they're going to make us all sick. But have a good evening, Dr. Don. It's a pleasure to come down for you.
We'll be right back with the great Don Blue and newcomer Mitch Milani.
This man needs no introduction whatsoever. He is the funniest man in the world. Did I say it right? Don Blue, The Gong Show, Magic X1Z, funny man, The Gong Show. Don Blue, 6'6", solid man. Here he comes, the great Blue, the Blue. You're mad. My first child from a previous marriage.
Hello. Thank you. How are you? Oh, that's great. How you doing? Okay, what time is it? No, really, it's because the Gong Show's on at 10:30. We're out of here. That's it. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thank you very much. Gong Show, TV 44. Watch it for the first frickin' time tonight, will ya? Obviously, nobody's seen it yet. We got to get it going. Okay, hold everything because this is very important. Here's your bumper stickers. Pass these around. These people over here are loving the night so far. This is going to be some kind of night. Dr. Don Rose, a roast of Dr. Don Rose, who's a legend in San Francisco radio. Somebody I've never met personally, but I've heard a lot about him, and I think he's a great guy. Can I stand this far away? Everything's still okay? Can you hear it all right? Oh, that's great. Okay, well, first of all, I think that this is a very, the fact that the crowd is so large tonight is really exciting because we have some of the greatest radio people, of course, in the Bay Area here tonight. I got to tell you something here. We made a big mistake. A lot of people obviously assume that disc jockeys, who, you know, are funny at times on the radio, could be funny in a situation like this and could do maybe 20 minutes. No way. We can't do 5 minutes. We cannot do a minute unless it's like a Nutrisystem commercial. There is no way. The only thing we can do is the little introductions to the songs. You know, that's where we do our stuff. That's where we're so very funny. So what I'd like to do, if you just bear with me for a second, if we can just pass these out here, and each table, this is a groovy kind of love here by Phil Collins. If you just take this, and if you can do the song part, I can do the funny stuff before it. Here you go. This has got about a 19-second intro here on this song. Everybody have their copies? Keep passing those out. Don't be hiding all of those over there. I can give you a little hint if you don't have your copy yet. When I'm feeling blue, you know, whatever that. What's the next line, miss? What's your name? Wendy. Okay, Wendy is our song leader here tonight. What's the next line, Wendy? Wendy? All I have to do is take a look at you. Oh, that's so special. Okay, so I'll do the first part and then you do the song. When I'm feeling, because that's the only way we can do this. Okay, here we go now. It's got a 13-second intro. We start, and I do the line. Hey, we're doing a Dr. Don roast tonight, but that takes way too long, and it is the 80s, so why don't we just microwave him? When I'm feeling blue, all I've got... Jesus, I thought I was bad. This group is horrible. You people are terrible. Dr. Don Rose, probably one of the world's greatest disc jockeys, and as Billy Ocean mentioned moments ago, disc jockey is a name that we hate. Probably one of the world's most malicious curses is, I hope your daughter marries a disc jockey. So we have tried to change this. We have become air personalities, like he said. We have become voice actors. We have become oral communicators. I hope your daughter marries an oral communicator. My daughter wants to marry an oral communicator. Every daughter wants to marry an oral communicator. A disc jockey, though, is somebody that, I mean, you always think of disc jockey as the bottom rung on the show business ladder, which is true. But then I found the Gong Show and found I could make a lateral move. There, you know, television doesn't get any better. Actually, Dr. Don Rose and I, when I first got here and I was doing mornings at KYUU and he was at KFRC, And we used to, I live in Walnut Creek at that point, and he lived in Danville. So we used to actually drive in to work together every morning. And well, we didn't, I mean, not like drive in. I was in a Volkswagen Jetta, and he's in this big frickin' limo about this big. So it wasn't, we weren't really together, but we did go in at the same time every day. That was about the time that they had the big explosion in the Caldecott Tunnel. Remember that? The school bus blew up and everything. Well, so from that point on, they said there will be no exploding vehicles in the Caldecott Tunnel except between 3 and 5 a.m. So between 3 and 5 in the morning, it was me, Dr. Don, and all these exploding trucks that would go through there. And we were really afraid that one day this explosion would happen and Alex Bennett would actually win in the morning. Well, thank God that never happened. No. Well, but he does have, without a doubt, the worst one-liners in the world. But you just can't really get through a day, you know, without hearing, "Hi, Dr. Donald D. Rose, good morning. Yes, the boss, he's not such a bad guy. I hear he's got a heart of a small child in a jar. 71 degrees and Sacra tomato macho. Now there's a guy who drinks his milk right out of the cow. Well, had a problem shaving this morning. Cut myself so badly, have to go on sick leave. Good morning, Dr. Donald D. Rose, 610 KFRC. We love you. Thank you, doctor. Yeah.
And now here's Mitch Milani.
Thought I was wondering, I know this is supposed to be a roast for Dr. Don, whoever that is. Where is he? Are you Dr. Don? Sorry, I was just past my time. No, Dr. Don, congratulations. I don't know what we're here for. You're welcome. But I listened to you a lot when I was little. I was really young, you know, when you were on KFRC, and the snooze alarm would come on, and it would just give me great pleasure hitting that sucker. And really, with the whistles, nothing more annoying than waking up to Dr. Don's show on the snooze alarm. Don't you just love hitting that sucker? It brings me great, great pleasure, Dr. Don. And I just thought I'd let you know that. Okay. Did we all enjoy our overcast day today? I always enjoy it when it's overcast because I don't tan, and when it's overcast, other people don't tan either. You know what I mean? I'm alabaster white. I go to the beach, people tan off me, you know. They do, they really do. Of course, I always pick up the girls that way because they figure I have a job. It's in my blood being white, Dr. Don. I'm Irish. How many Irish people we have here tonight? All right. How many AA members? Oh wait, same thing. I'm really sorry about that. That's okay. Dr. Don, do you live in Oakland by chance? Where do we live, Doctor? Danville. That's terribly interesting. So rich with culture, Danville is. I live in Oakland. Anyone else here from Oakland? All right. You guys like Oakland? Oakland's great. People give Oakland a bad rap. You know, they always say, "Oh, the drug dealers in Oakland, they're such a big problem." And they're really not a big problem. Like, when there's activity in my neighborhood, I just stick my head out the door and ask them very nicely to get off my porch. Except for Saturdays. Saturdays, they get to stay on the porch, because Saturdays, they take care of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Sometimes they even convert the witnesses into dealers. That's when they become pushy pushers. George Bush is going to spend $1 billion to fight the war on drugs, and I'm really pleased about that. Except for the fact that drug dealers in my neighborhood alone have more than that in their trunks. $1 billion. It's going to go to television commercials, I figure. Like, you see these television commercials on TV, right? Like the egg, do you see this one? The commercials don't work for people on drugs, because people on drugs are stoned, you know? Like, they have the, "This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs." No, I watched that commercial and I watched that egg and I went, "Wow, that's really scary." Someone on drugs is going to watch that egg and go, "Wow, I got the munchies, man." Go tear that egg up, man. Now they have raps against drugs. I'm sure Billy Ocean, is he still here? Billy, my man, is that you, Billy? Okay, Billy, you play those raps against drugs on your station? Well, 7.7, throwing down. Tigger and Bunny getting down. They do. You ever hear them? Just say no. Drugs are hella dumb. Huh, 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 huh. I'll know about you, but after I listen to like 10 minutes of rap, I need a hit of something. All these things on television. You see that commercial with that lady on there in the Folgers Crystals? She drank it. She said, "This is Folgers Crystals? Can I buy it in a store?" I'm like, "No, why don't you backpack to Colombia and handpick the beans with Juan Valdez, you ninny?" These commercials are ridiculously stupid. I've taught you, the acting is what pissed me off about them. Did you ever do any acting, Doc, before you went into... Never? I'm an actor. I went into acting. I told my dad, I said, "Dad, I'm going to be an actor." He said, "Mitch, what are you going to do if you have to play the part of a guy who had a real job?" It's good to have these podiums because you can hide behind them and no one can see when you bomb. Do you understand? What did I act? I went to ACT, the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. Thank you very much. Studied acting, and I was like, drove the whole family nuts because I used to bring home skits and monologues, and I'd rehearse to the chairs and to the walls, and like anyone in my family that I ran into, I was like, "Man, you've got no right, man. You know, you come around here and you think that you're so damn tough, but you're nothing, man. So why don't you just take your things and you get the hell out of my house, and you get the hell out of my life." And that scared the hell out of Grandma. My mom's a great actress. I think all moms are great actresses because moms can change from character to character like it's nothing. Like when they're yelling at you and the phone rings, you ever get that? This instant change. My mom was giving me hell. "Damn you, Mitchell! You always leave one little strap of toilet paper on the roll, Mitchell. Who do you think changes that paper? The paper fairy?" "No, it's me. It's good old Mom. I cook, I clean, I try to help you kids. I'm sick and tired of you kids coming around here." "Hello?" "Hi, yes." And all the kids are trying to sneak out of the house, right? Kids just try to get the hell out of the house. Let's go. And Mom will get you with that one weapon, the snap. Yeah. And it just, you freeze up because you know exactly what the hell she just said. You go, "I'm doing the dishes." "Sure, I'll do the dishes." You know exactly what she was talking about, man. I'm serious. I came home with a friend after school one day. I was like, "Mom, can me and Jimmy go swimming?" Mom was like... It's like, "Sorry, Jimmy. I gotta go to the store and pick up a quart of milk." Wouldn't hit us. The only time she'd hit us, we were in the back seat of the car, and she was trying to drive. Do mothers not have the ability to just knock you upside your head? They don't even have to look. It's like they got radar. I'm not gonna tell you kids again. Whoosh! And you just pop, it just knocks you. You don't know what the hell was. Who did that? Damn. Out of nowhere, she was like out of a kung fu movie. She was that good. One time she looked up in the rearview mirror and she went, "I'm not gonna tell you kids again." I have to be getting out of here pretty soon because I have a date. I have a hot date. I have a life, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to go with this girl. Last date I went on, I was really scared because this girl had these really tight jeans on. And I thought she was really skinny and petite. Until I got her home and she undid that top button and busted out like a Navy life raft. Okay. It's like, okay, hell, we gotta get to shore. What the... Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll go out with a full-figured woman. I have no problem with that. I went out with this one girl once. She was full-figured, and she was explaining to me the benefits to being of a full figure. She said, "Mitch, if we were adrift at sea on a life raft with a bunch of other people, I'd live the longest." I said, "Like hell, you'd be the one we'd eat." Dr. Don's just going, "God, what am I doing here, man?" Dr. Don, you think full-figured women drink a V8 and go, "Damn, I could have had a milkshake"? You think that happens, Dr. Don? I got in an accident not too long ago. My auto insurance, before I get out of here, let me just tell you about this. My auto insurance is like $1,300, you know, to insure my 1963 Buick. I'm not kidding. Deanna and I rode up in the Buick. It's a hunker. $1,300 one way. The car cost me $400. Right? I'm serious. See, the insurance companies don't like to insure young men. They say young men drivers are too risky. Except when there's a war, they need someone to protect their profits. Then they love us crazy little bastards, don't they? Get a close-up on that, buddy. Then they love us crazy little bastards, don't they? Try to get me to fight nowhere. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. I can't drive that tank. I'm an assigned risk. I'm sorry about that. A lot of people wear perfume. A lot of people really gob it on. You notice that? Does that annoy you when people like put it on really thick and you go out on a date? Don't you think if they're going to have like smoking sections and non-smoking sections, they should have perfume sections and non-perfume sections? And when you go out to eat, it'll be like, table for two, will that be fumed or non? Take a guess. I got Miss Gina Tay After Bath Splash with me here tonight. And the ones who gob on the perfume, they're like the first ones to complain about the cigarette smoke. You know what I mean? Oh, that awful cigarette smoke. I wish he'd put that out. It smells. It's horrible. Oh, God. Like, yeah, I wish he'd put it out too, honey, because if it gets any closer, he's going to ignite your fumes and blow us all sky high. Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for Don St. John, The Jeps with Rickshaw, and Billy Ocean.
Mr. Don St. John, KFRC Magic 61, good friend of Doctor, and a real classy gentleman. Magic 61, Tony Bennett Station, beautiful.
And I'm sitting here nervous already, and I hear people say, well, gee, he doesn't look like he sounds and all of that. He's not tall enough. One of the things I noticed with this podium, because I like to use it as a crutch, however, being that you can see what's here, we'll leave that as is. But basically, I got a letter that we want to share, and this is from someone that you know, Dr. Don, a friend of mine, Bill Exline. He passed this on from a guy who owns a radio station, I guess we call it KACI, K-A-C-I. It's in the Dells, Oregon. And I'll read this, and I'm sure it will mean much more to Dr. Don. The rest of us will have to kind of interpret it as we go along. And this is on a fax, and the fax is not the greatest, so just let me go through it and see if we can do it. The first station manager who did not fire Dr. Don, although it was close at a time or two, such as the time Dr. Don decided to publicize over the air a new very successful rating book by creating an electronic background sound with a tiny weird voice that kept repeating, "Take me to your leader," and then playing this strange sound over the station's regular programming periodically throughout the day. Now, the leader was obviously the successful radio station itself, but the audience in parts of 5 different states didn't know this. And they kind of panicked, so they contacted the FCC regional office in Kansas City and asked for an explanation. This comes from your friend, Dr. Don Burns Nugent of Nugent Broadcasting Corporation, the Dells, Oregon. Dr. Don, we love you. We miss you a lot. And, gee, God bless, and we still enjoy you, and when we hear you on occasions like the KCBS thing, or we have to come out for this, it is indeed a pleasure, despite the fact that I had to wear what I have. This is all that I had at the time. The station pays for it, so I said, hey, go for it. But we do miss you a lot, and we wish you the very best, and thank you very much for letting me be a part of this, and the inspiration, I think, will last me for a long, long time, and I'll try and pass it on to someone else. Thank you.
There's a couple engineers that work for the Doctor, and Rick Shaw also worked with the Doctor. So they put a little thing together about rap music. So they call themselves, it's Rick Shaw, Albert Lord, Ross Wilson, and Rappin' Alan Bruce, and they call themselves a Jep. Let's hear it from K101, the Jeps.
And now back to the music with Dr. Don Rose. I said Dr. Don Rose. Hey, bud, that's your cue.
Now wait a minute. Dr. Don Rose at 7:25, 25 after 7 o'clock. By the way, I'm writing my letter to Santa Claus this morning. Anybody know how to spell voluptuous? Hey! Is there a doctor in the house to tickle funny bone when you're jamming in your car or hanging out at home? A major market MC every morning without fail. It's the doctor and me. You say ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha 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 ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha 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 ha. That's right. King of one-liners and radio jive, the master of disaster in morning drive. Gets his jokes from a big trick bag. Dr. Don will do anything for a gag. Ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha 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 ha. I like that. Always remember you on KYUU. Oh, no, I hate it when that happens.
All right, drinks for everybody. Just put them on Dr. Don's tab.
By the way, Dr. Don, Mark McKay hasn't worked at this station for years. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Little brains.
The whole engineering staff gathers around at moments like this. Right? Tears for fears and head over heels. You know, there's nothing like a new position.
Watch it, bozo.
Of course, at the boss's age, it's always kinky sex. Kink in his neck, kink in his back, kink in his arm.
Oh, that's funny.
Dr. Donald D. Rose at the dawn of a new day, and if nobody said it to you, I'd like to be the first. Good morning.
They worked on that for 2 weeks. Whoa. The next man, every morning I listen to him, this guy sounds like he's the happiest guy in the world. And he's getting a divorce now, and that's why he's happy. Billy Ocean and Queso. The funny, funny man, nice man. And he said that he'll do anything for $1, and commercials is his life.
Thank you, Bob Quinn. How's everybody? Heard of bag ladies? Well, bag disc jockeys too. This is a quote. It doesn't matter how dumb the joke is as long as you use a sound effect. But you know, you can't just use a sound effect. You have to know how to use it. And Dr. Don taught us well. Like, say your traffic reporter comes in and says, "Hey, there's a cow up on Highway 4 near Pittsburgh blocking traffic." Well, you can come in and say something like, "Well, I sure hope the CHP gets that cow moving." Or how about a cow stopping traffic? That's utterly ridiculous. And of course, after you've worn that out, you can still say things like, "Well, I think we milked that one." Great stuff, huh? Don't you just love it? And then, of course, we learned the subtle use of the slide whistle. Gotta put the right in your mouth. It's been so many years. Yeah, there we go. Like, any joke you tell will work better if you use a side whistle. Like this joke that Dr. Don told me the other day. He calls me on the air Wednesday to hype this thing that you've all spent your $10 to come to. And this joke he tells me, he says, "Well, I slept like a log last night. I woke up in the fireplace." You think that's funny now? Wait. Tell it again with the sound effect, just like you taught me, Dr. Don. "I slept like a log last night. I woke up this morning in the fireplace." Wasn't that better? Yeah, of course it was. But seriously, Dr. Don, we love you. And I want to thank Bob Quinn for letting me be a part of this, because you truly have been an inspiration to me. And we love you, guy.
We'll be right back with the Gavin Report's Dave Sholin and KTVU's Bob McKenzie.
Here's Dave Sholin.
Just so Don can remember, you know, this is one of those evenings I told him I've been looking forward to. I said I knew my time would come, and here it is. Just a few brief minutes, but I'll make the most of what I've got. A little, you know, some of the facts that probably people don't know about Don Rose. I thought I'd bring him to the table tonight. Why not? This is the night we're going to roast him, as our man just said. And, you know, Don at birth was a cesarean born. Probably most people don't know that. Now, you know, every time he leaves a room, he has to go out through a window. True. It's true. Now, in those early years, Don went to his first program director, his first boss, and said, "You know, how should I act on the air?" The guy said, "Be sincere." Don said, "Sincerity. Yeah, I can fake that." That's... you know, Don comes up with these ideas. I remember at one time at KFRC, he pulled me aside and said, "You know, I got a great idea. Just think. What if we had Jehovah's Witnesses deliver the mail? We could kill two birds with one stone." He told me that. It was his idea. I didn't make this up. But seriously, as I do the countdown show every week. I've been doing countdowns, the Gavin Report. I put together charts. And Don has been around a while. I'm not going to tell you how long he's been around, but he does remember when the top 10 were the Commandments. That's about how far. I'm not going to say he's been, no, but honestly, I tell you, when I first heard you on WFIL was on an air check. I was working in San Jose. Heard an air check, his produced record, American Air Checks, listening to Don Rosen, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever believe that one day we would work together. And I got to tell you, it's one of those special privileges for me to be someone that I've been able to be your friend. We have worked together, and I'll tell you, there are very, very few people like Dr. Don Rose around. That's Don St. John was alluding to that. I can tell you, he's a family man. His family and his friends have always come first through it all, and there are a lot of big names in this business, but I'll tell you, when you put the top talents, the business that I've known for all these years, Dr. Don Rose tops the list, and I love you. God bless you, my friend.
Here we go. Boom.
Dr. Rose, this is Bob McKenzie. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with all of you this evening, but at least I can be with you on videotape to say that the guy we're honoring tonight is a wonderful guy, an entertaining guy. He's brought so much pleasure to so many people over the years that it's really fitting that we all gather here and pay tribute to him. So I want to thank all of you, and especially I want to thank Dr. Dan Rose. Dr. Don Rose, yes, I remember him distinctly. Dr. Rose, good to be with you. What's the guy do, anyway?
Well, he's in surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Chiropodist.
Don't go away. Stay tuned. More to come from the doctor himself.
The great Dr. Don. Dr. Don Rose.
Wow. This is the... Wait a minute. This is the first day of the toast of my life. I just like to say that being tonight is an honor or a pleasure, but certainly not both. I mean, this is a little bit like Edward Kennedy having 24 donuts, right? Of course, I've been sitting here trying to keep from nodding off. If you think the roast is dull, you should hear Bob Quinn's sex life. Bob, you did a great job, and now it's time to relax. Go ahead, have some fun. Try to do something that doesn't require batteries. And I have a chance to get in my licks before the program is over. I would like to thank you all very much for coming. Dave Sholin, where are you? Can I tell you the truth? Dave Sholin is cheap. And it's not that $42 even, Dave. It's the way you cut your fingernails so you can't pick up a check. I love you, Dave, and thank you very much for being part of this. Rick Shaw is another gentleman that our paths have crossed for more than a decade. By the way, Rick, you're still here? I know where that is. Hey, Rick, your mother just called. You left your bicycle in the driveway again. Don Blue, of course, was here. Don Blue, living proof. Living proof that the Three Stooges made a donation to the sperm bank. Let's see, we have Bill Mann, radio and television critic from the Oakland Tribune. A little bit weird. You take one look at Bill and you have to ask yourself, did he always look like that? Or was he injured in the war? And Don St. John. I don't know if you knew this, and Don didn't say it, but Don's hobby is collecting used chewing gum from famous people. Billy Ocean. You know what? If I had all of those sound effects, Billy, I'd probably still be in the business. That was great. In fact, I've heard your show, Billy. Do you realize if it wasn't for your microphone, you could be arrested for loitering? This has been a very special day because not a lot of exciting things happen once you get out of radio. And pretty soon you think, well, it won't be long before nobody remembers. Because the kind of thing that, well, the kind of thing about radio, and the only way I can explain it, is it's kind of like a form of pop art. Because you say something once, if you didn't hear it, it's gone. It will never come back. It's gone forever. It's out there floating somewhere in outer space and will never return. But as long as there are people to spread around the tapes and remember the mornings, easy mornings and tough mornings when we got up together, it means as much to me as it does to you. And I thank you very much for being my friend. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Okay, what time is it? No, really, it's because the gong show's on at 10:30. We're out of here. That's it. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thank you very much. Gong Show, TV 44. Watch it for the first frickin' time tonight, will ya? Obviously, nobody's seen it yet. We gotta get it going.
My mom's a great actress. I think all moms are great actresses because moms can change from character to character like it's nothing. Like when they're yelling at you and the phone rings, you ever get that? Just instant change. My mom was giving me hell. Damn you, Mitchell! You always leave one little strap of toilet paper on the roll, Mitchell. Who do you think changes that paper? The paper fairy? No, it's me. It's good old mom. I cook, I clean, I try to help you kids. I'm sick and tired of you kids coming around here. Hello? Yes. And all the kids are trying to sneak out of the house, right? Kids are trying to get the hell out of the house. Let's go! And mom will get you with that one weapon, the snap. Yeah. And it just, you freeze up because you know exactly what the hell she just said. I'm doing the dishes. Sure, I'll do the dishes. You know exactly what she was talking about, man. I'm serious. I came home with a friend after school and I was like, Mom, can me and Jimmy go swimming? Mom was like, it's like, sorry, Jimmy. I gotta go to the store and pick up a quart of milk.
Don Blue, of course, was here. Don Blue, living proof. Living proof that the Three Stooges made a donation to the sperm bank. Is it really true, Don, that when you were born, your dad shot a vending machine in the men's room?
A little refresher for you, Dr. Don, just in case you may have forgotten a couple of these. Only about 10 seconds, so forgive us. We just want to go back in time and remember this.
I guess it is. Certainly is. You know, Dave can't stand the thought of gift giving this time of year. I mean, the guy's cheap. Me? And that's why he's taking a week's vacation. Well, Merry Christmas, Noel Coward.
We're here to honor Dr. Don Rose and a man who never met a joke service he doesn't like. Comes from a small town in Nebraska, North Platte, is it? Your zip code was EIEIO. For those of you with dyslexia, that's EIEI7.
Here we are in Channel 2's newsroom, and we're going to talk to Dr. Don's best friend, Bob McKenzie. They've known each other over 20 minutes now, and they like each other. And Mr. McKenzie is going to say a few words now, and there'll be silence now. Bob McKenzie. Here we go. I'll introduce
What did you just say?
Well, I was just winging it. You know Dr. Don for over 105 years. You guys both ran a phone line together. Here's the
No, don't do any of that.
Okay.
Thank you very much for letting me be a part of this. And the inspiration, I think, will last me for a long, long time, and I'll try and pass it on to someone else. Thank you.
Seriously, Dr. Don, we love you. And I want to thank Bob Quinn for letting me be a part of this because you truly have been an inspiration to me. And we love you, guy.
Bob Quinn says stay tuned to Channel 26 for the next Oaks Card Club Comedy Hour coming soon. You'll see more great local Bay Area comics, roasts, interviews, and tell Bob Quinn sponsors how much you like this great show. Rams Clay Furniture in Oakland, McNevin Cadillac in El Cerrito, Sausalito Limousine, and Video City, 8 Bay Area locations. And Bob Quinn guarantees that when better TV shows are made, he'll have nothing to do with them.